I literally just went and poured a cold brew right now, even though it's like almost 6 p.m. And I just got off work at a coffee shop where I already had a cold brew and I had horchata. So, but I had to make more to talk to you guys because something so weird just happened. I literally, I just like witnessed myself transitioning, if that makes sense. Like transitioning into a new phase of life. And usually I feel like when you transition into a new phase of life, you're not really aware that you're transitioning. Like all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I'm here. Like, and then you're just there. Um, and you only realize it like a couple months down the line. But then today, I woke up in the same place that I've been in for the past few months. Um, and now it like I said, it's 6 p.m. and I feel like everything's changing for the best. And not everything in my life is changing, but I mean my mentality. And it's a really exciting thing because it was just like one decision I made and all of a sudden everything clicked. So, to give you some more insight, for those of you who know or don't know or whatever, I studied abroad in Florence, Italy, last year, 2021, from September to December. Well, I came back like after New Year's. But yeah, and I was miserable. I was miserable in Italy, and it was something I was looking forward to since I was 17 years old. And I was just, my mental health was the worst it's ever been. I'm probably gonna do another video on that in the future, more in depth. I just burped. I'll do a video in the future more in depth about all this. I'm like out of breath because I got excited to talk about this. But pretty much, God, I lost my train of thought. Oh my God. I was miserable there. And it was because my mental health was just at an all-time low. I hit rock bottom there. And there are a lot of things that went into that. And it's not because of Italy at all. Italy was beautiful. I would have had a great time in Europe if my mental health were better. But it wasn't, unfortunately, and I kind of did that to myself because the summer leading up to my study abroad experience and the semester before my study abroad experience, so basically the entirety of 2021 leading up to this, I was going through a phase of extreme seclusion in a negative way. Because I think that some intentional seclusion can be a very good thing and a very like mentally calming way. Like it can be very mentally calming to be intentionally secluded and helps you find yourself, find peace with yourself a lot too. But this was not one of those times. I was secluding myself out of pure anxiety and because everything just overwhelmed me all the time. I felt consistently overwhelmed with everything in my life. I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to leave my dorm room when I was in school. I didn't want to talk to people. At school, I would deliberately go like a different path to my classes that I knew no one would be on because I didn't want to risk seeing people I knew. Just because like it just overwhelmed me to do anything, talking to people. And I jumped from being in this mindset to going to a different continent where I was meeting new people and going to new places. And so all this kind of flooded me all at once. And then there was some other little dramas happening in my life. And all of this just kind of led to a huge breakdown because I was in a fragile state. I had not exposed myself enough to the world in that previous time period that I was able to handle this. And so I had a huge breakdown and I went to a psychiatrist in Italy. I got back on medication for the first time in like a year. And that the medication stabilized me. It did. Because at the time I was having panic attacks almost every day and the medication just kind of like mellowed me out and helped me to like breathe and chill out. And during my time in Italy, before medication, I was having some extreme disassociation mentally, where I felt mentally like withdrawn. Like it was to the point where I couldn't walk around in public alone if it hit me. If my dissociation hit me, I would have to like hold on to a friend's arm because I was afraid I would literally get lost. I got a medication, that went away. And I came back to the United States, and I kept taking my meds, and my mental health slowly began to recover from everything you went through while I was abroad. Um, and I've been recovering ever since I came back. I've been continuously taking my medication ever since I came back because it was a part of my recovery that I'm going through. Um, and then I started getting this weird feeling a couple months back. I can't pinpoint exactly when it started, but I started feeling very detached from my body, where it's like me and my body are two separate things. Where previously I had once been mentally dissociated, but now I was physically disassociating. Um, and it's such an uncomfortable and weird feeling, and I wasn't able to put into words before today. I was like, oh man, like this is so annoying, but what do I call this? Where do I even start to fix this? And I didn't know. I was very stuck, and I just kind of like I just pushed it aside all the time because I didn't know what to do about it. um and now, like literally today, I was finally fed up, and I was like, you know what, like I need to confront this. But I just didn't know how. So I put on my Instagram story. I was like, hey, if like someone's gone through this, please like help a girl out. Like, what did you do to get past this? And I texted my best friend about it, who is luckily a sociologist. I texted my best friend about it, who's luckily a sociology major. And she's like, obviously she's not like a professional, but she's very insightful about these things. And she helped me realize that this, like, she gave me like 4 different scenarios, and told me to pick which one it felt most like. And then the one that I identified with the most was that like I feel disconnected from my senses, and that my memories have no emotions to them. And I was like, that's it. Like, I had no idea how to put it into words, but that's pretty much it. And she asked me like, if my body is here, where am I? And I was like, I'm like next to it. Like, this is my body, this is my brain. That's how it is. We're just like, we're in the same place, but we are not conjoined. And she told me that it's pretty much what I'm experiencing is derealization, which is a symptom of anxiety. And there's a derealization disorder, not what I have. I have just a symptom that is derealization. And not to be like self-diagnosing on the main, but that is what I'm feeling right now. I'm very much feeling like I'm derealizing a lot for my body. And so that helped me a lot. And then I was listening to the Emma Chamberlain podcast, and I think this episode was Regaining Perspective, I think that's what it was called. And she described exactly, like in the very beginning of the episode, she described exactly what I was feeling. And I was driving my car on the way home from work, like literally a couple minutes ago, and I heard that and I was near tears. I was like this, I was like with one hand driving and like this, and I was like, that's me. That's literally me. And so all at once, I began to come to terms with this and with what I'm going through. And I realized that like I'm disconnected from my body because everything feels muted in general right now. All my feelings feel muted, and it's been like this since I got on meds. And before I figured out that it's derealization, I was already considering getting off my meds because I was like, I don't think I've been feeling much lately. I want to feel again. And I decided I wanted to feel again. And the last time I went through this, I was on medication too, where I wasn't ready to feel when I was in Italy. Any emotion drained me immediately. And I like medication helped me because it muted all of that. And it kind of died down my emotions to the point where it was manageable. And that's the place that I've been in for a couple months. And this feeling of being detached and disassociated and derealizing all the time has been slowly building for the past few months until it hit its peak. And now I'm forced to confront it. And it's exciting that I'm finally, I feel like I was so busy recovering that I was so busy recovering that I couldn't bring myself to confront the other mental problems that I am facing. But now, starting today, I feel like I've hit a point where I am fully recovered from what I went through in Italy, and now I'm capable to address the next thing, which is this challenge of the realization, because mental health is a constant, ongoing thing. And you know, there's always going to be some other type of issue, and this is my current one that I have today decided to start combating. So overall, I'm ready to feel again, and I decided that I'm going to get off my medication, because medication was very good and very helpful in my recovery. Like after I hit rock bottom, like that definitely helped make everything more manageable. But I'm ready now. I'm ready now. And I don't know if any of this makes sense. I don't know if anyone like gets what I'm saying, or if someone will be able to identify with this. But this is something that I'm excited about, that I'm ready to, like, this is a new phase that I'm entering. And I became aware of this while on the phone with my boyfriend, because I was trying to just talk all of this out and get all of my feelings out and have someone listen to me and tell me, like, yes, that makes sense. And my boyfriend was so supportive and so helpful during this conversation. He just kind of let me talk it out. He barely even said anything, but sometimes that shows all the love and support that you need, you know? And it just made me realize, like, wow, like I'm entering this new phase right now. Like I am entering this new mental health challenge, and I'm confronting it now. And normally I'm not so like, yay, mental health issues, woohoo, let's like, yeah, let's get into it. Like normally I'm not like this, but I'm excited because I'm going to feel again. You know, like I'm excited because I'm realizing that I'm capable of feeling again and that I want to. And maybe it might be overwhelming sometimes, you know, but I don't think it'll be to the point it was before, because I'm not secluding lately. I'm not unhealthily secluding. Like I go out with friends. I have a job at a coffee shop versus last year I was working remotely. I'm like, I have constant socialization. I go out a lot. So therefore I think I'm ready to, like, I think the fact that it's bothering me that I can't feel is proof that I'm ready to feel. Because previously I was just overwhelmed, feeling too much. And it's been kind of a cycle of that for me lately, where it's like I stop feeling, I feel too much. I stop feeling, I feel too much. And the previous times that I started feeling too much again, or that I stopped feeling, I would be excited to do. Oh no, I wouldn't be excited to do either or. It was just like, okay, here we go again. But I think the fact that I'm excited this time proves that I'm actually ready, if that makes sense. I don't know if any of this makes sense. But the point is that I'm witnessing myself going to a new phase, and I'm really excited about it. Yeah. And I don't know if I'm gonna edit this at all, because I kind of want to show you guys this like unfiltered realization of like, wow, this is cool. She's also super unhinged. So I don't know, but my cat's meowing because I closed my door. I hope that this kind of gives perspective somehow. I don't know if you even need perspective on this. It doesn't matter. Like, this is my thing, you know? But maybe this will push you to have that moment too. Because it was me listening to Emma Chamberlain that helped me have that moment. So you know what? Maybe I'm gonna Emma Chamberlain you. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her last name right. My cat's meowing a lot, so I'm gonna go. This cold brew is amazing. I hope I've Emma Chamberlain you today. And then maybe this will cause you to transition into your next phase. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it won't, and maybe you just liked listening to this, or maybe you hated listening to this, and that's totally okay too. I'm just in a good mood now because new things are happening for me mentally, and I'm excited to feel again.